Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday, April 15th, 2025. Today is tax day in the good old US, and we are back for another episode of Bricks and Beyond, a creator showcase series. For those of you that might be joining for the very first time, Bricks and Beyond is a showcase series that highlights members of the LEGO community. Each episode provides a personalized look into the person behind the account. Tonight's guest is joining from the Grand Canyon State. He is an AFOL, a Lego collector, and an all-around good person. On Instagram, you may see him as Sure Bricks a lot, but I'm here to introduce you to him as Ron. So let's get Ron in here. Hopefully. All right. What I always get nervous for. If there he is. Okay. Just wait for Ron. You can request to join here, and then I'll bring you in. Let me see. Maybe I'll send you an invite, Ron. See if that works. There he is. How are you?
How's it going?
Good. How about
Good.
yourself?
Not too bad. It's been a
Happy.
busy day.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Happy tax day. So
Yeah.
tax day. It's not as fun for me anymore because I used to do the whole tax thing where like I would not I would keep money to push off kind of as like a forced savings plan, and then when tax time came I would get a big refund. But now we do things a little differently, so we take all the money during the year and then there's not much to take at the end. So
Yeah. I typically end up owing at the end of the year. So
okay, well that makes it even worse.
yeah. But that it was exactly what I would do is I would kind of like, oh cool, I'm getting this
Yep,
refund back and save up, and then I started realizing that I'm giving a free loan. I was like,
I know,
well, I could use that money during the year,
I
but
know, I
now I
know.
swung it a little too far the other direction.
Okay, yeah. Well, you know what? I'm sitting here thinking because I didn't have it like that until or until I started before the Lego hobby. But just think, wouldn't it be nice if we could get like a $2,000 refund that you could just put towards Lego in April?
That would be dangerous. That would be dangerous.
It would go fast, you know. So, but we know that's how the Lego spending world goes. So,
Yeah.
um, so anyways, thanks for joining me today. How's the week going so far? I know it's only Tuesday, but how's things going so far for you?
Well, first, thanks for having me on. I
For sure.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Super excited to be here.
Yeah, I appreciate you being
Yeah,
here.
weeks going pretty good. Busy with work. Uh, just too much work and not enough Lego.
I know. Yeah, that I wouldn't it be great if you could actually work for Lego and then you could say too much work and enough Lego.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I would think that at some point in time you may like uh
Yeah.
not enjoy it as much
I know where you're
anymore.
going with that. Yeah, it's funny you say that because I actually had that conversation with somebody I worked with today. Whenever you do, and I know I'm probably going to get harpooned for this, at some point, but whenever you do too much of something, sometimes you can kind of like wear it down a little bit. But um, I don't know. I feel like we both do the Lego up pretty big, and we haven't gotten sick of it yet. So,
Yeah,
as evidenced as the wall behind you.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Well, there's a lot of empty drawers still. I'm still
well,
working to fill them all up.
it takes time, right? It doesn't get done in a day, right?
Yep,
The the
very true.
the Lego Empire doesn't get built in a day. So So you are, as I mentioned in the intro, the Grand Canyon State. I think that's the most popular name it goes by, which is Arizona. Um, Obviously, you guys have a massive hole in the ground, so I guess that's what we would call it, a massive hole or cutout, carving, whatever we want to call it.
Yeah,
Um,
a big ditch or a giant
a
hole.
ditch. That's it. Not a hole, a ditch. That's what I like. Okay, there we go. So I'm assuming you've been to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, a couple times. I think I lived here for probably about 15 years before I ever made it up
Okay.
there. So I'm down in the Phoenix metro area, so it's about 3.5 hour drive up to the Grand
Okay. So
Canyon.
not too far, but far enough to not go often.
Yeah.
Is it as spectacular in person as it seems it could be, or is it kind of, as you said, just a giant ditch in the crowd?
Um, yeah, I mean, seeing it, it's one thing, but like hiking
Yeah.
it and
Yeah.
experiencing it, that's a completely different thing.
Okay.
Uh,
Gotcha.
I've never hiked down to the bottom. You're actually supposed to have a permit to do that.
Oh, really?
Um,
That's interesting. Hmm.
yeah. Well, and it's very dangerous. Like,
Okay.
um, I did start to hike down it at one point in time, and I want to say it was probably December, and there was still like ice and snow.
Interesting.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah.
it was pretty scary, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to turn around now. But
That's enough of that.
um, yeah, I think it's like an hour and a half hike just
Oh,
to get to the bottom.
wow. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I mean I've obviously, you see it in the movies and the old westerns and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, I haven't been past Wisconsin as far as going west, so I don't know what the other side of the country holds for me. So I will take your advice to come visit the giant ditch and maybe get a permit to go hiking. Not in December though. So
Yeah. Well, and I mean that's the interesting thing too about it is as you get lower and lower in the canyon, it actually warms up.
okay.
Um,
Yeah, I guess that makes
and
sense. Yeah.
yeah, there's some beautiful spots down there. I've only seen videos and stuff, and then I've actually had a couple friends who have hiked to the
Oh, cool.
bottom, and
Okay.
yeah, it's a big ordeal to like plan that out. Like
Sure.
it's months worth of planning to get down there, but yeah,
So I was just
there's
gonna
some
say,
rewards when you do.
so it's like it's reverse Mount Everest. So Everest takes a long time of planning. That's going up. We're going down with the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, yeah, pretty accurate.
So Arizona weather, because I'm up here in Pennsylvania, so you guys don't really get the humidity, correct? It's more of like that dry kind of heat, which obviously it's still hot. But being in your shoes, can you feel the difference between a humid Arizona summer and a non-humid Arizona summer day?
Um, yeah, absolutely. When it's not humid, your skin just feels like it's on fire, um, and like you can't even like sweat to cool
Okay.
yourself down.
Yeah.
It's just hot. Uh, when it's humid, obviously you're sweating a little bit more, and it actually feels a little bit cooler, but
Okay.
it's just like um, you know trying to breathe in that thick
Yeah.
moisture
Yeah.
when you're not used to it.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I was saying. I've always heard about Arizona's the dry heat, so it's a little bit different than we're used to even in the summers. But what's the temperatures like this time of year for you guys?
Um, well, we're kind of above average right now, but we're in the low to mid 90s.
Oof!
Um,
Wow. Okay.
and then I think in like a week or two, we're supposed to have our first triple digit day.
Holy cow. Okay, so still in April, you're hitting triple digits. So
Yep, yep.
okay.
We got a storm rolling in later this week, so we'll get down to I think 68 on Saturday. I'm looking
Well,
forward to that.
yeah, I'll say here. I'm wishing I could be 60. Now, As far as like the big storms that you guys get, because I'm not too familiar with Arizona weather. Now, do you guys get any like the earthquakes or tornadoes or anything like that rolling through? Or
Well, I think that's one of the biggest appeals is that, obviously the weather during the winter months, but we don't really have weather activities or
okay,
earthquakes or anything like
okay,
that. Um, we do occasionally get what's known as a monsoon or a haboob.
okay, okay. I've
Um,
heard of monsoon, but yeah.
So monsoon is, just those torrential
Yeah.
downpours in the desert,
Yep.
and there's just like flooding and stuff
Okay.
because we're not built that way. It
Yeah.
just
Sure.
all flows. And then a haboob, which I don't ever remember calling it a haboob when I was younger, but it came out that these giant dust storms that we have are
Mm,
called haboobs.
okay. Interesting.
And I mean it's kind of crazy if you Google Haboob, um, like, and you get to see a video, you just see this wall of just
Okay.
dust
Yeah. Yeah.
flying in, and I mean it's like 100, 200 feet up in the air,
That's insane.
and
Holy cow.
so, sometimes they get to be pretty bad that there's like zero
Okay.
visibility driving. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Interstellar. Uh, that's where my mind's going here. Interstellar with the sandstorms. Relate
yeah,
relatable.
yeah, that could be pretty accurate. I,
Okay.
I, I would say that Interstellar might depict it a little more intense than it
Yeah.
actually is, but
Well, of course. I
um,
mean, who wants to see the real thing?
yeah.
All right. So, as I mentioned, today's Tuesday. We got the holiday weekend coming up. So, any big plans for you and your family this weekend, or just kind of taking it easy?
Just kind of taking it easy. I got teenagers, so
Yep.
uh, don't have too much. Although my daughter has prom on Friday night, so
Oh, okay. That's a big thing.
yep.
Okay. Is this a first prom, or has she been to any before?
Nope, this will be her senior prom.
Ooh, senior prom. Okay. Oh boy. Well, that's like that's the ride off into the sunset. Like there's no more after that. You're out of there. So,
Well, she's going to be staying home for a little while longer,
well, that's
so we'll
good.
see how
Yeah.
that goes. Help
Yeah,
her
that's
help her
good.
save some money.
Oh man, I tell you, if I could go back, that is, when you have parents that offer that to you, I mean, you got to take that opportunity to save the money because everything's so stinking expensive that, yeah, well, she's lucky to have you guys offering that. So, plus, in a selfish way, you get to enjoy her for a little bit more. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Today's day and age and economy, like kids have to stay at home
well,
longer.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I it's just too expensive out there.
Yeah, no, I agree. So even though the kids are older, will we still be doing an Easter egg hunt for them, or nothing fun? They don't even want to participate. Ah, geez, okay. See, I do an Easter egg hunt because I know what you get stuff in the eggs. So I mean, come on, let's put some Lego gift cards in Easter eggs. How about that?
You need a pretty big egg for
I'll make it happen.
that.
The sacrifices we make to make things happen, right? Okay, so obviously you and I are here in the Lego realm together here. But before we get into some Lego talk, I want people to kind of get to know a little bit more about you as a person. So we're gonna go through a couple things here, and then we'll make our way into the Lego chat, and we'll see what happens. So, so for anybody who missed, this is Ron or Shore Bricks a Lot here, and he is in the state of Arizona, as I originally mentioned. So my first question for you is: Arizona, is that the birthplace of yourself, or were you born and raised somewhere else?
No, I was born in California. I only lived there until I was like a year and a half old, and
Okay.
then we moved to New Jersey. So my dad's from Jersey.
Okay.
My mom is from Nebraska, but kind of grew up out in California.
Okay.
So my parents met in California, married in New Jersey, went back to California, and then went back to New
Okay.
Jersey.
Okay.
So I lived in New Jersey until I was in about kindergarten, uh, and then went back to California for a couple years. And I think in third grade we moved to Arizona
Okay.
when I was in third grade.
Okay.
Um, so, and then the majority of my adult life I've been here. I lived in Tennessee for a little bit, and that's kind of where my heart is
Sure.
is in the South.
Yep.
Love to move back to Tennessee, North Carolina area.
Nice area there. So, um, so your mom and dad kind of they didn't want to meet anywhere in the middle. They literally went coast to coast.
Yep, yep,
So they must have something with a coast. That's my takeaway from that.
yeah. Could be. That may actually be why I've always wanted to live like near the
Well,
beach.
yeah, that's
Like,
true too. Yeah,
being stuck in Arizona, we don't have a beach
I
yet.
was gonna
You
say,
know,
yeah. You guys probably struggle to find water sometimes, I would assume.
yeah. I mean, sometimes it, it kind of seems pretty
Yeah,
plentiful, but like uh, obviously it's a desert,
yeah,
so we got we gotta be careful what we consume.
yeah, sure. Um, so do you remember anything? I know you were like super young at that point, but do you have any? Because sometimes people say like they have like no matter how old they were, they have like just a random memory that pops up. Do you remember being in either California or New Jersey, or that's going too far back?
Uh, so not California after being born. I do have a couple memories from New Jersey, and I have several from
Okay.
California. I
Yeah.
mean,
Okay.
California, back when I lived there for the 2 years in like first, second grade, like, I got to be outside
Mhm.
and do things and go
Yep.
visit. I got a lot of family still in
Oh,
California,
nice.
so,
Okay.
but one vivid memory I have from New Jersey is being on the bus coming home from kindergarten,
Okay.
and just talking with my friends. And I remember it was around Christmas time, um, and just talking with my friend on the bus, and then all of a sudden I was the last one on the bus, and I was like, "Whoa, where was my stop?" Like, so I was just so involved in talking and what I was doing that I missed my bus stop. So the bus driver had to take me back.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's like, that's what friends are for. They're supposed to remind you, when you're, hey, isn't this your bus stop? But you just
Yeah,
just kept
I
going by.
guess my friend was distracted
Oh,
too.
well, nowadays, I mean, gosh, if you miss a bus stop, man, your parents calling up the school telling you, telling them that the bus driver's hijacking you, So,
Yeah, pretty true.
so what is it about? Because I know, like I've always lived in Pennsylvania, so like this is where I was born and raised. I don't enjoy it. I would rather be down south. Tennessee or South Carolina are my two preferred states. Um, so I know where you're coming from. So what would you say is your I don't want to say attachment, but what is your? Oh, yeah, I was gonna call it attachment. What's your attachment to Tennessee? Like, what makes it so special?
There's green.
Yeah,
There's colors. There's
that's
seasons.
yeah, yeah,
Um, I mean, where I lived in Tennessee for a little bit, it wasn't too humid, but there was definitely humidity there.
sure, yeah,
And I felt like I adapted pretty quickly.
okay,
Um, and I mean, the ultimate dream would be to live on a lake.
that'd be
Um,
nice. Yep.
so we don't have too many lakes
No,
in
I was gonna.
Arizona. And what lakes we do have, they don't have uh, beachfront property.
Yep.
Like no houses
Nope.
on the lakes.
Well, you
So
mean you? Okay.
for the most part, they're like reservoirs.
Okay. Yeah. No, I was just gonna say. You mean you can't come up with your own mirages that has lakefront property in those really hot days?
I mean, probably.
You can live whatever dream you wanted. You know. All right. So then, so growing up, well, obviously not just growing up, but continuing forward, any siblings? If so, how many do you have?
I have a brother who lives here in Arizona
Okay.
with me, and then I have a sister who lives in California.
Okay. Now, so what's the order of the three of you?
So I have another sister who passed away
Okay.
several years
Sorry to hear
ago.
that.
So my two older
Okay.
sisters, they're both older than me. They're actually half sisters.
Okay.
Um, so my sister lives in California. She's 9 years older than me.
Okay.
Um, and my other sister was I think about 5 years difference.
Okay.
And then my brother is actually I think 5 years younger than me.
Okay. So growing up then, what was the dynamic like between you guys? Like, did you guys get along pretty well or
Yeah, my oldest sister, she was older, so
yeah.
she was out doing her own thing and whatnot. My sister who passed away, she would come home from school and just want to teach me everything and anything that
Oh,
she
nice.
learned. So,
Okay.
so when I finally got into school, I excelled because
Sure.
everything that they were teaching I already knew.
Okay.
Um, and then my younger brother, we would go out and kind of do some things, but we were also kind of like
Yeah.
separate. Um, but then as we got into adulthood, we coached football together,
Oh, nice. Okay.
and coach basketball together.
Okay.
And now we get together and like go disc golfing and stuff.
Ooh, okay.
Um,
Nice. So then,
so uh,
so you get to see your brother obviously pretty often. How often you get to see your sister?
oh, I say I see my sister maybe once every six
Okay.
months. Um,
Well,
we
yeah.
we try to get out to California. My mother-in-law lives out there,
Okay.
and she's um, like 45 minutes from Disneyland. So
Ah, convenient placing.
yeah, so free stay,
Yeah.
and get to go to the land and say hi to the
Yeah.
mouse.
That's my aunt and uncle just moved down to Florida actually. So we went to Disney in 23 and now that they're down there, my aunt's like, come on down. Now you don't have to play for or pay for lodging. So I was like, well, that's where the bulk of the money goes in Disney is the lodging. So I said, yeah, I'll take it up. I'll take you up on that for sure. So hopefully next year we'll get to go round two here. But yeah, that's nice. Nice that you have so much family out that way, and you can kind of like make a trip out of places you want to go and get to see family as well. Um, so growing up, this the question. I know it's always painful to hear, but we're gonna pretend like Lego did not exist for the moment. Okay. So, growing up, what were some of your hobbies or interests that you had throughout the years?
Oh, well, I mean, I always enjoyed being outside,
Mhm.
and doing things outside. Uh, when I lived in California, I can remember a friend down the street who collected comic books. I
Okay,
started kind of getting into
sure.
that. I never really read them.
Yeah,
I like the art. I like the
the cover.
artwork.
Yeah, yeah, yep,
Um,
yep.
and collected that. And I can remember him having me and him would be in the backyard and we would like build things with like dirt and like
Okay,
do like GI Joe scenes and
sure.
stuff.
Yep, yep.
Um, so that was really cool. And then moving to Arizona, like it didn't matter if it was 120 degrees outside. We were out like playing basketball or playing
Yep.
football. Uh, we had this giant dirt lot behind our house where we
Okay.
constructed a sand lot.
Oh,
Um,
nice. Okay.
so that was cool. And then one day they came and just put a whole bunch of dirt in there because they
Okay.
were like repaving the streets and whatnot. Um, so like it was this giant mound of dirt, probably 50 feet high,
Nice.
maybe even taller. but like they had like busted barricades,
Okay.
and we would get the busted barricades and like slide
Oh,
down
that's awesome.
the dirt hills on them.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, a lot of stuff outside. Enjoyed sports a lot, even though I wasn't very good at them.
Yeah, well, I'm with you on that one. So,
And then yeah, video games.
okay.
Loved going over to a friend's house playing GoldenEye
Oh yeah. Oh
on the
gosh, GoldenEye.
64. Yep.
Oh yeah. Yep. I actually just taught my son GoldenEye. It's on the Xbox now because they brought it back on the Xbox. But the memories you have like replaying that game. I mean, it's just like that's childhood. I mean that stuff was just like childhood. Um, it's funny, talking about the going outside stuff. And you ask somebody in like this generation about what do you do outside or what do you do, and outside is not a common response to a question you ask. Like the art of being creative outside is just not really it's not really there anymore. And that's what we usually talk about. Like when we were younger, it's like the sun comes up, you go outside. The sun starts coming down or starts going down, then it's time to go home. As they say, when the street lights come on, that's when you know to go home. But now it's hard to get them out of the house. So now,
Yeah,
I mean, hard to get us out of the house too now.
that's true, especially when
So,
you have all this. Um, but yeah, the television commercials back in the day used to be like, it's 8 p.m. Do you know where your children
yeah,
are?
I know.
Or whatever the time it was. Now it would be like, it's 8 p.m. Have your children been outside yet
Yeah,
today? Like,
that's yeah, that's a good one actually. Yeah, yeah, you should get an ad going for that. So,
yeah.
all right. So then you said so you have two kiddos. Not so much kiddos anymore. They're pretty much almost into the young adult ages, right? So you said your daughter's a senior in high school, and then your son is he still, remind me, is he out of school?
No, he's a sophomore.
He's a sophomore, that's right. Okay.
Yep, yep.
All right. So what's it been, you only have the two, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So
It
how
was enough. More
so
money for Lego that way.
fair. So what's the dynamic like between them? Do they get along pretty well, or are they opposites, or
They for the most part, anytime like you want them to like go to bed, that's when they're getting along.
okay.
It's when you want them to get along, they're not going to get along. And yeah, I'd say they're kind of polar opposites. You
Okay.
know,
Okay.
one
So
one's a little more reserved and quiet, and the other one is very active and
okay.
very loud sometimes.
So do they reflect their parents at all? Does one reflect the other more than the other, or is that a little different? Now remember
Uh
this is going on recording,
oh
so
yeah,
be careful how you
yeah.
answer this.
Oh yeah. They may find it years from now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say, well, my wife always tells me that me and my daughter are exactly alike.
Okay.
Um and she's the one that's very active and now going, and
Gotcha.
um we're both diagnosed with ADHD,
Okay.
so there's
Yep.
that.
Sure. Yeah. Hey.
um yeah, and then my son and wife are very similar in where they're
Okay.
quiet and reserved.
Well, sometimes when you're quiet and reserved, it's just a ticking time bomb, and one day
Yeah, yeah,
it'll come out. we all, we all have our moments, no matter what. That's my look on things. Is obviously nobody's perfect, and we all have our ups and downs. So, in my opinion, nobody's different than anybody else. Just the way it goes. Um, all right, so let's get into some Lego chat here. So I'm going to ask you to go back again to the wonder years of being a kid, and now we'll pretend like Lego exists. which it does. So, so as a kid, was Lego when you were not outside? Was Lego on the table something that you had either sets or bulk bricks, or both? And if so, what'd you have?
Yeah, so I can remember definitely getting some sets here and there. I know we definitely had bulk, but I don't know if the bulk came from
Yeah,
sets
yeah.
or may have just been, you know, the classic boxes. Um, and uh, yeah, we did kind of get creative with it from time to time.
Mhm.
Uh, Definitely did play with Lego with my brother. But I also played Lego with my mom.
Okay,
My mom definitely enjoyed to build.
sure. Yep. Yep. Now, did you guys did you do like city building with the bricks, or anything just like random stuff that you build, or
No,
just kind
just
of
like
like
random stuff.
okay,
I don't know that we, kind of went too much with our
sure,
imagination uh, with some of it. Um, but yeah, from time to time, I mean, I can remember maybe like with some spaceships,
okay,
kind of rearranging it or
yeah, yeah,
creating our own.
yep, yep. Um, excuse me. Now, the Lego that you had, um, were you one of the lucky people that was able to get the Lego back from when you were a kid as an adult, or is it MIA, or do you know what happened to it?
Uh, as of now, it is MIA.
Okay.
So my dad still lives in our house, and uh, he packed up a lot of the belongings and stuff that were still there. So
Okay.
the Lego could still be
Sure.
there. Uh,
Yep.
I just don't know.
Okay. All right.
It's something waiting to be found at some point.
Something to be
Um,
unearthed.
yes, yes.
You could have a gold mine there, I mean,
I well, I don't know how much of a gold mine would necessarily be there. So because when I was a kid, this was before any Star Wars.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't before any of the IP stuff. So
Okay.
the only themes that I can necessarily remember actually having is like time cruisers, time
Yep.
twisters, and Western sets. I remember having some Western sets.
Okay.
I'm sure we had some space sets as well.
Sure.
Um, Maybe something like Aqua Raiders.
Oh yeah. Oh
Um,
man, you're bringing up all the good stuff. Yes.
yeah, yeah,
that that's before all, like you said, before all the IPs. That was like a lot of like Lego, just Lego stuff. And I mean, I liked the oh gosh, was it Atlantis? I think was that one of the ones I remember. Like you
yeah,
said, the space, but yeah, a lot of classic style stuff that was quite enjoyable. And when you look back, the stuff was really well made too. Like it was like really good for imaginative play. It wasn't, like the IP stuff where here's some directions and build the set. It's actually you can use your imagination to build stuff. Um, so now, did you have a what we'll call them, the dark ages, as people like to say? And if you did, what was your kind of time frame there?
yeah. Definitely had dark ages. Probably somewhere around middle school to early high school.
Okay,
Um, and then as far as like when I started getting like really back into it was probably 2021,
okay,
2022. But I would still like build with my kids and whatnot, but we didn't have like massive
sure.
collections. Um, I do remember having a lot of the Toy Story sets with them,
Oh, nice.
um,
Okay,
which we should still have. I don't think we got rid of
okay,
any of the Lego that we had when my kids were growing up.
yep,
Um, but as far as like me coming out of the dark ages, yeah, it was kind of as my kids started fading away from it a little bit,
okay,
and yeah, I mean, it's probably because Lego started gearing a lot more stuff
mhm,
towards adults.
yep,
Um, so I say that the Star Wars helmet collection is what brought me out of my dark
okay.
ages.
Okay, nice. Now, are you up to date on all the helmets then?
I do not have the AT-AT driver helmet,
Okay, yep,
uh, and part of me like wants to continue to wait.
sure.
The Rex and Cody helmets. Actually, all of the helmets up till the AT-AT, I bought day one. Got
Okay,
them day one. Had to build them as soon as possible.
sure.
But then the Rex and Cody helmets, they kept getting cheaper and cheaper at Walmart, and I was like, well, man, I wish I would have waited. I could have
Yeah,
saved some more money.
yeah, yep.
And when you save money, then you have more money for other Lego sets.
Yeah.
So with the reveal today of Jango Fett and Kylo Ren,
Yep.
it's kind of like, oh man, do I get all three?
Yeah, I
Is that
know.
how I get my gift with purchase?
Yeah. Well, that's
So
true too. Yeah.
definitely contemplating that. I've never really been one big for the UCS sets, just
Sure.
because they're too big. I just don't have space
I
for
get
them.
that.
Now, the Slave One is probably about the right size. Like you don't
Mhm.
really want to get it too much bigger
Yeah,
than that, because like
sure.
the Falcon and the Imperial Star
Yeah.
Destroyer and Venator, like those are just,
Massive.
I have nowhere for them. I do still have an AT-AT
Okay.
UCS AT-AT in a box, because I feel like that one's takes up a little less space
Yeah. Yeah.
lengthwise,
Yeah.
and then you should just be able to put that one on a shelf.
Mhm. I kick myself for that one because uh actually Mav and I were talking about it when it was getting ready to retire, and it was on sale and it was double points or something like that, and I was just like, I'll wait a little bit longer, and then gone, and now I'm kicking myself because it was such a good price plus the points, and I was just like, man, that's gonna be that one that haunts me for a while, I think.
That is when I end up actually
Oh,
getting mine.
did you?
Was
Okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. So I do have the Star Destroyer, or no, not the Star Destroyer. Yeah, the Star Destroyer. That's the only. I don't know why I always get myself confused with that. I do have that one, and I have it on the top shelf, and that's like, it's just like you said, it's massive. Like, it doesn't even fit on the shelf; it hangs off.
Yeah,
Um, and I mean, if you're just a Star Wars collector, then I think that makes it a little bit easier because then you don't have to worry about anything else. But if you got the parts and all the other sets, like, you really have to weigh your options. But um, I know we talked about this the other day, the FOMO. Of getting stuff day one, and that's how I've been until recently, where I've been able to get rid of that. And when, like you said, you can, if there's something you want, it's going to be around for, like those helmets, they'll at least be out for a year. But
yeah,
if you can get the gift with purchase threshold because of them, well, then that's a good way to go about getting what you want, plus getting some extra goodies. So it's all like about like planning, like trying to plan your purchases now instead of just getting it day one without any sort of bonus or benefit other than if there's a gift with purchase. But
yeah.
um I mean, I'm here to support anybody's purchase, so you tell me what you want to buy and I'll support you for it.
Well, I definitely highly recommend utilizing the wish list,
Mm,
because that'll
yeah,
that'll help definitely rein in your spending and whatnot. But I mean, Legos come out with some just crazy good
I know.
sets lately, and
I
it's
know.
just like I don't want to miss out on those. But at the same point in time, it's like I want to get into more mock building,
Yeah.
and and just kind of create my own stuff. Um, and when I first got back into Lego, I was going into every theme and any theme.
Sure. Yeah.
And then as I started accumulating more and more of a backlog, I'm like, why am I really doing this? I'm like, okay, I don't need this. So like I did have an ISD
Okay.
uh, at one point in time, and I was just like, I don't have anywhere to put this.
Yeah.
I I don't really need
Yep.
this. It would be fun to build, but I'm gonna sell it and put it back in the Lego fund.
Okay.
And by that time, when I sold it, it was already retired.
Okay.
So I ended up profiting a little bit off of
Sure.
it,
Yep.
and yeah, bought other things with it.
Well, that's the one tough part when you get in the mocks. I mean, obviously it's expensive to buy parts, so you really do have to kind of like pick the path you want to go on. And if it is the mocks, then you kind of do have to be a little more careful with what you spend on the sets because I mean the Lego Pick a Brick website is not the cheapest option. But you can accumulate points and then you can go to Bricklink and then you see Bricklink prices are cheaper, but then you see like the handling fees and the shipping fees, and then it's just like, geez, man, like you get feed to death with this stuff, you know? So
Yeah,
it's a fine line to flirt with. So you got to
yeah,
do, yeah, I mean, or you can just go off the rails and do both and pray you're okay.
yeah, yeah. I definitely would say that I'm the latter.
Yeah.
I went off the rails a little too much. I mean, a lot of the bulk and pick a brick stuff that I got was for the tree build that we took to Brick Slopes last year
Yep. Okay.
with our Lego user
Yep.
group. So I have a lot of greenery.
So that's actually I was going to ask you about that. So last year, so it was with West Valley Brick Builder. So that is your local lug, correct?
Yep,
Okay.
yep. One of
Um,
three that are here in the valley. Yep.
oh, okay. So oh wow, that's nice. So you took it to Brick Slopes up in was that Colorado?
No, so Brick Slopes, Colorado. This is the first year that they're doing it,
Okay.
which is wow. It's already next week that
I
Brick
know.
Slopes,
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Colorado is.
Yep.
We took it to Brick Slopes,
Oh,
Utah,
Utah.
which
That's
is
right. Okay.
in Sandy, Utah, just
Okay.
south of Salt Lake. Um, which that's the first Lego convention I went to the year
Okay.
previous, and that's where I kind of started talking with the people at the lug because
Gotcha.
I had known of
Sure.
them, but never met them until actually at Brick
Okay.
Slopes. And yeah, I mean, the group that's there, they just have
Yeah.
phenomenal builds. Like you're just
Yep.
mind blown.
Yep.
So I wanted to learn and be able to do that. So I joined up, and yeah, we built a 7 foot tall grandmother willow.
That's crazy.
Um, and it took us about a
Okay.
year. And grandmother willow, she actually talked.
Wow. Okay.
Her lips would move, her eyes would blink.
Yeah.
Um, and then down in the base, we had a whole bunch of vignettes or
Okay.
dioramas that were behind doors. Unfortunately, when we got to Utah, we couldn't get the door
Oh,
mechanisms to work, so
of
they just
course.
kind of stayed open the whole time.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, there's some pretty cool vignettes. I don't necessarily have one that's accessible,
Do you
but
have
yeah, they were
is
all.
there pictures on your Instagram for anybody who wants to go check that out?
Yeah, there's definitely pictures on my Instagram. Beyond the Brick did a whole interview with us as
Oh,
well,
nice.
so
Okay.
you can find that on their Instagram,
Okay.
YouTube, Facebook, and it's also on West Valley Brick Builders
Okay.
Instagram as well.
Sweet. Okay. Before we move on into a couple other things with Mox, I know we talked about the other day. There is I'm going to call it a touching story about building with your mom that I thought would be amazing for you to share because it was like it's one of those like little heartwarming stories. Would you like to share that real quick?
Sure. Yeah. So I always feel like this connection through Lego with my mom because growing up, her and I would build Lego together, and as I was starting to approach my dark ages, um, I would like go out to the laundry room because that's where my mom was, and she'd be out there building Lego by herself.
Sure.
Like
Yep.
she would be building these crazy spaceships and
Okay.
stuff. And yeah, so my mom passed away in 22, and Lego's kind of still that connection that I have with
Yeah.
her.
Yep. Yeah, that's nice nice memories to have. So it's nice to have a hobby, but when you have a hobby for a reason, I think it makes it even more of like a special thing to have. So definitely nice memories to hold on to for you there.
Yeah.
Um, so just random question because now you have me thinking about it. Did you ever think about trying to make like some sort of like spaceship in memory of her, or like trying to think of maybe something she would have like put together?
No, not necessarily. I can't necessarily visualize what it was that she was putting together. I
Okay.
mean, if I did go back to my dad's house and found our old Lego, and started seeing some of those pieces, it
Yeah,
might trigger some memories, and it might get me to build something. But
that'd be cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
What
that
is there any chance that there's anything? I mean, I know there's always a chance, but do you think there's any chance that if the Lego is still there, that there could be something she built still put together?
uh, I it would be a very very small
Okay.
chance because my nephews
Mm,
actually
okay.
lived with my parents.
Okay.
So yeah, they raised a couple of my sister's children.
Gotcha.
Um, so I'm sure that they definitely played with the
Well,
Lego, and
that's okay too. But hey,
that's that gives me hope that it's still
yeah,
there. Um,
yeah.
and I know my mom, in her later years, she liked to do a lot of the like color by number
Oh, sure.
stuff,
Yep.
um, and just adult coloring books.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so she would do a lot of those. Those were kind of how she remained creative
Okay.
in her later
Okay.
years.
Something something tells me she would have fit in really well with the mosaic making community.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I
That's incredible.
I if we had enough one by ones back then, I'm sure she probably would have definitely created a few things.
Oh yeah, that's as soon as you started telling me that, that's where my mind went to. I said that sounds like right up her alley there.
Yeah.
So, all right. So then, as far as mock building, so do you have anything on your mind about something that you'd like to create on your own yet, or are you still kind of just like in the early like parts gathering phases, or anything to that
Um.
extent?
Yeah. So I mean, I definitely have a few ideas. One thing that I definitely know that I'm going to be creating is the Flagstaff train
Okay.
station. Um, so Flagstaff is a
Yep.
city in northern Arizona,
Yep.
and the Route 66 runs through Flagstaff
Okay.
essentially, and the Flagstaff train station is on Old Route 66 and actually opened the same year as Route 66.
Oh. Okay.
So next year, 2026, is the 100th anniversary of Route
Oh wow.
66
Okay.
and the Flagstaff train station.
Okay.
So um, uh, our family really loves going up to
Sure.
Flagstaff. We go for every New Year's, and do the pine cone drop up there. Um,
Please
and
expand on that. I need to hear what the vodka drop is.
so, and I'm not sure how many other cities do it, but there are a lot of cities now that have tried to replicate, the
Okay.
Times Square ball
Yeah.
drop.
Yep.
I don't know how long Flagstaff's been doing it, but we've been going for 10 plus years,
Okay.
where uh, there's a hotel in historic downtown Flagstaff. I think was built in
Okay.
1903, and they have a giant pine cone that they
Okay.
drop like the New Year's
Interesting.
ball in Times Square. Yeah, and it's
Interesting.
all lit up. There's giant block party,
Wow.
you know.
For
So
some
it's
for some reason, pine cones don't remind me of Arizona.
well, so I mean the southern Arizona is desert, but
Yeah.
it's forest. It's forests up north.
Okay. Interesting. I don't know. It's like when you think of a state, you usually only have like one train of mind. Like Arizona to me, desert.
Yep.
Florida, beachy desert. You know, just like. I forget about, obviously there's different parts of the states, but very interesting. I'm gonna do some research when we're off here later tonight, and I'm gonna look into this pine cone drop here because now I'm curious because this is the first I've heard of this in 36 years. So
Yeah, it's phenomenal. We also I think it's Prescott. Um, they do a boot drop, so they have a lit
interesting.
up like metal boot
Yeah.
that they would
Wow.
drop. Um, but yeah, I think there's a lot of other cities outside of Arizona that do that,
Interesting.
but we have
Man,
probably three or four different ones here in Arizona.
man, you've really opened my eyes here because I hate New Year's and I hate that stinking ball. But to see a giant pine cone or a giant boot come flying down, I mean, that might change my outlook on New Year's.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
I,
I mean, and part of the reason why it became tradition, the first year we went up there, uh, we went up really kind of for snow, and we didn't really
okay.
know, like we knew that we were going to go to the pine cone drop, but we didn't really know what it
Yeah,
was
sure.
or what it was like or anything. And it the first year we went up there, it was snowing, and they had the most snowfall in 24 hours that they've ever had on record.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it was just a ton of snow, and it
Sure.
was it was a blast. I mean, especially like when it was New Year's, people were
Yeah,
tossing
yeah,
snow
yeah,
all over the
yeah,
place,
yeah.
and yeah. Now when we go up, there's not really ever snow.
Of course. Yeah.
It's still chilly.
Okay.
I want to say it's probably in the 40s,
Okay. Yeah.
to maybe upper 30s,
Okay.
but for the most part, not really
Yeah,
snow.
yeah. Well, I guess at least having a sense of cold makes it feel a little bit different then. Um, so going back to your mock idea here with the train station, um, do you foresee yourself trying to get that done in time for the 100th year anniversary and kind of like trying to reach out to them and be like, "Hey, look what I did," or is it kind of just as a project? I guess you can say.
So I definitely want to have it done by the anniversary. The
Okay.
the idea was actually to have it done by Brick Slopes, Utah this year,
Oh, okay.
which is in
Okay.
August. But it for me, and I think other mock builders might agree with it. Is like, yeah, you have this idea, but you've got to wait for that like inspiration to kick in. You got to have that
Yeah.
like that like creative moment where you're just like, okay, I can get into it. Um, and maybe that's just the way it is when you first are starting out with it. Um, but yeah, I I have another project I have started. I
Okay.
don't necessarily want to
Yeah, yeah,
disclose
yeah.
that one yet.
Nope, nope, nope.
Um,
To be
but
determined.
yes, well, I originally wanted to have that project done for next week in Brick Slopes, Denver.
Okay.
Um, but I think I've put like maybe 20 bricks together.
I no,
um,
I get you. I get you. Yeah, you're right. You can't force yourself to build something. Like
yeah,
you have to have the motivation and inspiration to do it. Otherwise, it just feels like a chore.
yeah. The other thing I can disclose as far as like another project that I had is so the theme for Brick Slopes, Utah, has to do with pirates. I forget what the
Okay.
actual like they have a phrase for it, but it's for pirates, and so I wanted to build something from the movie
Oh,
Hook.
nice. That's one of my favorites. Yeah.
Um, and I was pretty ambitious with what I wanted to do because I wanted it to have like movement and stuff.
Okay.
That's the big thing with West Valley Brick Builders is they want to have
Okay.
movement
Okay. Yep.
to their builds,
Yep.
um, and I just don't foresee there being enough time for that. However, I still want to do that at some point.
Okay. Yeah. Funny you say that. So I'm up here in Pittsburgh. We have it's called the Steel City Lug, and this past this past January we had our annual convention. It's at the mall where our Lego store is, and so we set up in the middle of the mall, and everybody comes and puts their displays up. This was the first year we really brought lights, sound, and motion. And it's crazy how when people have builds with those elements, the people flock to those. Like, no matter how grand a build is, if it's just static, like you get the oohs and the ahs over it. But when you add the lights, the sounds, and the motion, like it's a game changer. And so that was kind of our motto moving forward is, lights, camera, action. Like, let's bring these things to life because it does. It
Absolutely.
really makes a world of a difference with these things. So, um, all right. So you got that in the works. Whenever the inspiration comes. So that undisclosed project. So I always ask this at the end of the lives, but I'm just going to ask you now. I'd love to have you back later this year, and so I'll hope to have a update on you or on this project from
Yeah.
you. So pressure's on to get inspired.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about your Lego social media preference or presence, not preference. Your presence in social media here. Um, so when you came back in the Lego, how long after you restarted did you get onto social media?
Um, I'd say it was probably like maybe about 6 months of me coming out of
Okay,
my dark ages where I decided to start on Instagram
okay,
because I felt like that was more kind of the creator community
mm,
was there, and if you're on Facebook, you're kind of a boomer. Um, so I went for Instagram,
yep,
and the idea was that it was something that I could like do with my kids,
okay,
like um, them growing up and younger, they were like, oh, I'm gonna be YouTubers and this and that, and I'm like, hey, I fully support that.
sure,
Like, you make money at that, let's do it. And
yeah,
so I they had actually started a YouTube channel and we're messing around with it, but then like kind of fell out of it, and I'm like, well, hey, let's do this Instagram thing.
okay,
Maybe we can turn that into something.
sure,
And they did something here or there at first, and then they kind of fell out of it, and then it was more so for me.
yeah,
Um,
yep,
so I just started posting stuff, and then I was just like, okay, how can I stand out, be
sure,
different, be funny, and yeah, then it just started kind of taking off, and I was like, oh, okay, wow,
yeah,
um, yeah, and now my son does a lot of behind the scenes
okay,
stuff. My daughter, will give me ideas here and there,
okay,
and occasionally she'll do like some editing, but for the most part, my son does a lot of the editing.
okay.
Um, I do pay him for
Oh,
it.
sure, yeah,
um, Sometimes it's in Lego, other times it's with actual
okay,
cash. Now he kind of wants
yeah,
cash more.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, when it started turning into something, I told my son, I was like, hey, I need a logo. Can you draw me a logo?
Okay,
Can you do a logo for
yep,
me? And back when that happened, I was doing a series with the Pick Brick Cups.
yeah,
I was
okay,
just, that's where I started accumulating this. And, I would go to the wall and pack it up.
yep,
And the series that I was doing was like, look at how much value you can get out of these Pick a Brick Cups.
sure,
So the logo that my son drew me, he took a Pick a Brick cup, put a whole bunch of random bricks in it, and he poured it out on the table,
okay,
and he kind of stacked some bricks up so that he would, you could put
yeah,
words on the
yeah,
face of the bricks.
yep,
And he took a picture of it, and then he traced it and drew it out, and he drew the Sherbrick slot
okay.
in like Lego font. And actually, I still have
There
that
it
cup
is.
full of bricks.
Okay, yep.
So uh, I keep saying I just need to sort this back into my stuff, but it's pretty sentimental in the fact that it's still there, and this is almost 2 years later,
You
maybe even longer.
you might as well put the lid on that and tape it because you know darn well you're not going to do anything with that.
There's some good pieces in there too. There's actually some snot bricks and stuff in there too. But yeah, it's like I stare at it and I'm just kind of like I I should put that back, and it's just like can't bring myself to do it.
Well, so here would be my thought on that. If you look at your logo and you don't see that particular piece in the logo, I'd say you are probably okay with taking that part out because it's not part of the process. But otherwise, if you're not even going to do that, cap it, tape it, and be done with it, and just have him sign it or something, and just frame it, put it somewhere, because if you keep it behind you, it's going to keep bothering you. So store it away, make him a nice frame, put it on the wall, and there you go. You have a memory for yourself there. So.
Yeah, definitely excellent idea. I did not think of, kind of like framing it or making that a
Yeah.
memento out of it. But yeah, I think I might actually
You know what?
do that instead.
I actually have an even better idea for you here. Have you ever seen the mocks of it's the like the big oh gosh the cases for the fire extinguishers that you put on a wall, and it's like you have to break the glass to get into the fire extinguisher. I think you should make one of those and have it be like an emergency only, so only break if emergency. And it makes
Yeah,
it a fun play on something cool like that. So it's kind of like a cherished memory and kind of like a fun thing to do with Lego. So that's my idea for you. You in no way have to listen to me, but
yeah,
um, I don't think you want to take away from the. You already have a sentimental thing with your mom and that story, so you definitely have the family aspect into your hobby that you don't want to forget. So that would be my advice that I'll pass on to you. Not that I'm anybody, but that's a friend to a friend advice. So
yeah. No, I appreciate it. Thank
yeah,
you.
yep, for sure. So all right. So as far as some of the things I've seen here on your page here, so the Lego bag outfit. Wow, just where did this come from? How was it done? I have to hear the story behind this.
So the, the thought was, yeah, I kept seeing, I think at the time, everyone like frying up their minifigs, because they spent all their money on
Yep,
Lego. This is what I got to
yep,
eat now. And I
yep.
was like, well, I've seen so many people do that, and I was like, it's funny. I'm like, how could I make my own like play on
Yeah,
that? And I was like, what else do you kind of like need besides food? And I thought, well, you can't walk around naked. You need clothes. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna like build something. And I'm like, but I have all these Lego bags
yeah,
still, and I don't know why I keep them.
yep.
So I was like, you know what? Why don't I just turn these bags into like a shirt or something? And I whipped something together, and it was just super quick.
Sure.
Um, and I had the whole idea, and um, just walk outside, and hey, when you spent all your money on Legos, you didn't have anything,
That's yeah.
for clothes. Um, and uh, Originally there's going to be like music and sound to it, but I forgot to add
Okay.
it. So you actually hear like the crinkling of the bags, and I was just oh, okay, that actually made it
Made
better.
it better. Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
and I had kind of filmed that already, and then at the end of the reel, I'm like waving to a neighbor and whatnot. Um, and the original idea that I had is I have a brother-in-law who's a pretty big dude,
Okay.
um, and my mother-in-law's dog was living with us at the
Okay.
time, and he's a rat terrier Pomeranian
Okay.
mix. Kind of looks like a Chihuahua,
Yeah. Sure.
but he's this small dog, and I was
Okay.
gonna have my big brother-in-law walking the small dog, and then like it was gonna be me waving, and it was gonna flash to him, and then just him kind of like, dude, what's with you?
Oh,
um,
that's a good one. Yeah.
but we just couldn't get the timing where he could get over here and
Okay.
do that and
Yeah.
whatnot. And then ultimately, my mother-in-law's dog went back home,
Okay.
back home to California. So, but yeah, I was just trying to do something similar but different.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
and so then, people started recognizing me for the Lego bags.
Okay.
So then I was like, okay, well, look, how can I do a part two?
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's pinned in there still, but I had another one where it was essentially me coming home with the giant like tarp
Oh, yeah.
bags
Yeah.
for like
Okay.
the big UCS
Yep.
sets. And then it was another version of me playing video games wearing the paper Lego
Okay.
bags. And then, uh, you know, I'm coming in with the tarp bag saying, I'm back. And then, um, I go to myself and I pull out the set. I think it was the Avengers Tower. I pull out this set and I shove it into myself. And then I grab the bag and I'm like, new clothes.
That's good. Oh, that's good. I like that. I must say I don't think I've come across anything like it. So you definitely have one of a kind material out of that one. Actually, thinking of it now, do you know? Have you ever come across? Oh gosh, I'm forgetting his real first name. His Instagram account is the Magic Yellow Bag.
Okay, yeah.
I'm collab. I'm feeling a collab between the two of you.
Yeah, he definitely commented on both of those. I'm trying to. I want to say one of them. He said something like, "I'm
Yeah,
appalled. Like, how
yeah.
could you do that to a Lego bag or
Oh,
something like that?"
he's a hilarious guy. But yeah, that would be an awesome collab if you guys could think of something to do together.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely have some more ideas for the bags. One time we had just a sudden downpour here, and it was
Okay.
raining, and I was standing outside and filming myself. I was like, "Find yourself in a sudden downpour? No problem. Grab a Lego bag." And I had the like tarp
Oh,
bag and like
okay. I was gonna say I
and
hope it's not the paperback.
yeah, and Maticus Bricks told me that I needed to turn one into a raincoat, and I was like, "Yeah,
Oh,
that's probably a
ooh,
pretty good idea."
ooh, that's a
I
good
was like,
idea.
but it's just like I don't want to cut up one of those bags,
Yeah, yeah,
they're
yeah.
they're good
Ooh,
bags, but
that's a good one.
I've started kind of collecting them,
Okay.
um, those bags, because when I get the larger sets that probably could fit in a large paper bag,
Uh-huh.
I'm like, hey, can I have one of
That's a
the
good
tarp
idea.
bags?
Yeah,
And for the most part, they're like, yeah, sure,
yeah.
and they'll give me one. But yeah, those bags aren't cheap.
Yeah, no, no, no. You know, my mind, my this is what I love about talking to people, because when you say something, my mind just starts it starts clicking here. So you should figure out a way to find your way into a sewer like it, but have the Lego bag with you, and you can be like drawing people into the.
Yeah, yeah.
It's endless possibilities you can do with Lego bags.
Yes. And the great thing
Uh,
about that too is that, I mean, if you save them like me, and again, I don't know why I save them.
I do the same.
Um,
Yep.
uh, uh, you know, it's kind of free at that point. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
don't have to, go buy Lego bricks or buy sets
Yep.
or whatnot. Like,
Yep.
you've got these Lego bags. Now, I have tried to make other iterations
Okay.
of them, because that very first paper one, it just it split, it broke. There
Yeah.
was no saving it. So I've tried to start figuring out a way to where it's like something that I could fold and pack in a suitcase.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
because Brick Slopes, the people of Brick Slopes, Cody and Brian, I'm sure would love to see me walk around the convention in Lego bags. Um, and I wouldn't mind doing it. It'd be like,
Yeah,
okay, cool,
yeah.
whatever, you know. Um,
Uh, Advice for you: just make sure they don't look like hospital gowns. Otherwise, you want to make sure the back's tied together.
yeah. No, they were definitely full on. Now, you may be able to see it in the original one, but I did have clothes on
Yeah,
underneath too.
yeah, no,
But
I
I tried to, yeah, because paper cuts. Oh, um. Anyways, I tried to make my underneath clothes like yellow
yeah,
as
yeah,
well,
yep.
so that it would kind of blend in.
That's good.
But yeah, no, they were full on. Like I had full on pair of shorts
Okay, yeah, yeah,
and a shirt.
yep.
But yeah, I,
Oh, that's
I
good.
right now I have uh, one of those like A shirts
Okay,
where it's there's no sleeves
yep.
to it. I have that put together, and I've been able to like take it off and on,
Okay.
and it's got like I think it has Velcro in it, even like on the side. So
I wonder if Lego would get upset if you made your own Etsy store with Lego bag clothes.
I don't know that I would want to go that route. The amount of time that I put in to try and make Lego clothes
Yeah,
out of the
I
bags.
yeah, that's custom though. I'm sure people would pay a pretty penny for it.
There's so much time that goes into it. Like I question myself, like, why am I spending the time doing
Yeah,
this?
I
I
know.
could be building a Lego set
I
or
know.
something.
Yeah. Yeah, well, hey, you never know. If something takes off, maybe you'll find your new line of work there. So,
Well, I mean, I am trying to do some like original 3D prints
okay.
to try and get out there. So like this A full sign
Yeah, I was
right
gonna
here.
yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Um, my son actually designed that,
Oh, nice.
and I paid him for the design work.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm trying to. There's actually a stack of them over
So
here too.
yeah, I saw that over there. Yep. Yep.
I'm actually wanting to put those up on a store and
Okay.
get those out there available to people. I'm planning to, have a couple to take with me to Denver,
Okay.
Brick Slopes,
Yep.
and see what the market is for them.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think that that 3D market's definitely taken off. So I would imagine there would definitely be interest there. So speaking of conventions, that's what I was actually going to ask you. So what's the calendar look like the rest of the year for conventions?
So yeah, definitely going to Denver next week, and definitely going to Utah in August.
Okay.
I have a hotel room booked for Brick World.
Okay.
But I have not decided if I'm going or not yet.
Okay.
And you know, I, I, I'm kind of hoping that I get on the Brick World website because I haven't bought a ticket yet.
Sure.
I'm kind of hoping that I get on there and they're like, "Oh, sold out," and I'm like, "Okay, well, decision made." Um,
You know that's
but
not how things work, right?
no, I'm sure Brick World just like, "Oh, well, we've expanded capacity for this next
No,
year."
no, there will be one ticket left, and it will say for Ron.
Yeah.
Because that is how life works. So, all right. So
Yeah.
then at least two conventions, and then you're hoping to have um at least one mock ready for Utah, right?
Utah.
Yeah.
Utah.
Okay.
Yes. I will
Okay.
definitely have something ready for Utah.
Okay.
Um, the other thing that I have, let me see if I can actually access
Yeah.
these here real quick.
Yeah.
So the thing that I want to start doing as I go to conventions is I have created these little like micro builds.
Oh, nice.
Um,
Oh, cool.
so
Leonardo, right?
yep.
Yep.
And I I started with the Ninja Turtles,
Nice.
um, and I
That's
want
cool.
to do a whole bunch more
Okay.
of just different pop culture things.
Yeah.
So I actually have a Darth Vader and a Doc Brown as
Okay.
well, that I did years ago. But yeah, so I want to start expanding on that and just like
Okay.
bringing the whole
Sure.
collection with me because they'll fit in a suitcase super
Yeah, yeah,
easy.
yeah, yeah. Yep.
So yeah, like just doing little things
Those
like this,
are really cool.
uh,
Yeah, I like those a lot.
just small minimalistic build, and you don't need too much for it.
No.
Obviously,
It's also
the weapons and the pizza kind of tell you exactly
yeah,
what they are. So
yeah. Oh no, I could tell I was Ninja Turtle right by looking at it. I mean, so yeah, I wouldn't have needed any add-ons there. So you did a really nice job on those. I like those.
yeah,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah. Well, yeah, keep it up because that pop culture stuff that seems to be, quite the route that no matter what year it is, people always go back to the different 90s and 2000s TV shows and whatnot. And I mean the characters are easily recognizable. So Turtles
Yeah.
is it's just timeless classic. If you have time, Power Rangers was my gig. So if you can figure out a way to make some Power Rangers, let me know and I'll send some funds your way.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a way. I would have to think about it.
Yeah.
Sometimes they get pretty complicated. Let me actually show you one more.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I my I kind of made this guy,
Yep. Okay. Is that
and
that's the platypus or whatever
yep.
he is, right?
So then my 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 kids made something to go with him,
Yep.
and
That's awesome. That's really
so
cool.
then I was like, well, you got to have Dr. Doofenshmirtz as well. So they're like, they couldn't figure out how to do it, and I was like, well, I'm gonna figure out how to do it.
Oh,
So
look at that.
I made Dr. Doofenshmirtz, but on the back I had to kind of use the clips
Yep.
here because in order to get his jacket,
Yeah.
I had to
Okay.
like do this like
Oh,
sideways
that's
build
awesome.
here, so
That's
it all
so
clips
cool.
into the bar.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man. I've been on a kick with that micro scale stuff. I mean, I guess that's what we'll call them is micro scale. It's so crazy what you can pack into such a small build and the details there is it makes things like easily recognizable. And that's like, for example, I mean, I can't remember the names of who they are, but I know them like just by seeing what you did. Like I knew who they were.
Yeah,
So uh yeah,
Phineas and Ferb
that's
and
it. Yep. Thank you.
Perry the
That's
Platypus.
it. Thank
Yep,
you. Yep.
Commando's got it. Yep.
Yep. That's it. Yeah, I my mind knew exactly where I was going. I just couldn't I couldn't put two and two together. So,
Yep.
yeah, I think that's a great idea though. I mean, that's it's an easy way to take stuff to kind of show, like what you can do and you don't really need a lot of space to take it anywhere. So keep it up. I like it. That's good stuff. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, any before we wrap up, anything else you want to share? Anything I didn't ask you? Anything I missed?
Um.
It's your night to
I'm.
shine, so you shine.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm starting to do some live streaming of my own.
Okay.
And so I did the live stream of the Art of Chocolate. Building that.
Yep.
Did it
Okay.
on YouTube and Twitch.
Okay.
So that's kind of like my latest project is figuring out how to do all that.
I get you.
Um, and again, like a lot of this is just being able to employ my son, not necessarily employ him, but like get him to help me do
Yeah. Yeah.
things. And like both my kids are so creative.
Sure.
So ultimately, that's where all this, the goal of this is to get to spend more time with them and get
Yep.
them creative and doing things. Find their talents and hobbies that they like to before they're getting out there in the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, my son, he designed like my stream starting to stream soon
Okay.
screen, and helped me set up OBS for you know uh, going live on YouTube
Yep.
and
Okay.
and Twitch, and um, yeah. So I just I keep trying to push it a little bit further
Sure.
and get him to help me do those things because
Yeah. Well, good. Good. Um, so for those either watching now or watching back, um, what are your usernames on YouTube and Twitch? Are they the same as your Instagram, or are they set up differently?
um Twitch is different because of a character
Okay.
limit, or maybe it was because I started an account and then messed it up
Okay.
and had to start a new account. So for the most part, it's sure underscore bricks underscore
Yep.
a underscore
Yep.
lot,
Okay.
but sometimes it's no underscore in between a and
Okay.
lot.
Gotcha. All right. So yeah. So anybody on Instagram, obviously, if you're not following, it is sure bricks a lot with underscore in between each word. Um, I'm just trying. Do you have? Oh, let me see. I'm just because I always like to put these out here. Let me just see if I can find you on YouTube here real quick. Let's see. On YouTube, I hope this is you. Yeah, that's you. On YouTube, so it's at Sure Bricks a Lot. There are no underscores, so it's just
Oh,
Sure
okay.
Bricks a Lot. Excuse me. So that's on YouTube, and then Twitch. Let's see if I can find you here as well. That is Instagram. Of course, you're not popping up on there, so we'll go with Instagram and YouTube for tonight. But obviously, if you're posting something on Instagram, I'm sure there's a way to find you through Twitch. It's not coming up when I search it on Google here, so um, I'm sure somebody will find you through something you post on Twitch. But yeah, so make sure you check Ron out here again on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch. Well, I'm looking forward to see some of the live streams that you have going on. I'm surprised anybody even wants to talk to me because everybody's probably sick of my face by now. So I appreciate you coming on with me tonight and kind of sharing your journey and everything about yourself. And definitely the personal stories that you've shared. Definitely great stuff. I hope you take my advice on that cup because I don't want you kicking yourself one day and trying to refill the cup and having foreign pieces in there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I will probably go find a lid right now and put it
Okay.
on there, and
Yep.
then I'll probably find a marker and yeah, and get my
Yep.
son to
Yep.
autograph it for me.
I think that's a great idea. Definitely
Appreciate
a great
that.
idea.
Yep, and definitely would love to come back and even if you want to have me as a regular,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
join you and Mav, I would love to do that.
Sure.
I'd love to just hang out and be more a part of the community.
Well, I would say we have some things we're working on with some live streaming here. We're testing out on Friday, so definitely looking to grow the guest list here. So I will keep you posted for sure on that, and yeah, I'll look forward to watching what you're doing here over the next couple months. If you do end up at Brick World, I will be there, so I'll look forward to meeting you. If you do end up getting a ticket. But if not, there's always next year. So, Lord willing, I'll be there next year as well. So,
Yeah, next year I feel like it's definitely more of a possibility than
okay.
this year.
Okay. Good. Good. But yeah, everybody again, make sure you're following Ron on all his social platforms. Check out what he's doing. We got some mocks upcoming that he didn't want to share with us tonight. No, I'm kidding. So, they're under development, so stay tuned for those. And then yeah, look forward to, like I said, either meeting you at Brick World or having you on again somewhere here down the future.
All
So,
right,
all
appreciate
right,
it.
everybody,
Thanks,
thanks
Keith.
for joining us. Ron, thanks so much for taking the time out tonight, and we'll see you. Talk to you soon.
All right,
All right,
see ya.
see you guys. Bye.